All right, everybody, welcome back to another Legacy video here. Um, I've been playing a bunch of Cube. I still have a bunch of other Cube videos lined up to come out, but I know that I started out playing Doomsday, specifically in Legacy, and it seems like people want to see or enjoy the Legacy Doomsday perhaps more than they enjoy the Cube. Recently, it's been the opposite for me. I've been enjoying Cube more than I've been enjoying Legacy Doomsday, hence all of the Cube videos that have been coming out. But I do have occasion to return to the Legacy format. There's a 5K coming up this weekend locally for me. It's the biggest tournament that we've had in the area in a while. And you best believe that I'm going to be representing the blue-black Doomsday. So before we get into it today, I kind of wanted to talk just briefly about Doomsday's place in the current Legacy metagame. If we go over to the MTG Goldfish page, we notice that now there are two blue-black decks at the top of the metagame share in the form of Dimir Reanimator and Dimir Tempo. These decks are very similar, just whereas Dimir Reanimator favors a quicker win using Entomb Reanimate with Atraxa or Archon of Cruelty, backed up by the same tempo suite as the Dimir Tempo deck. The Dimir Tempo deck prefers to grind you out slowly with Tamios, Orcish Bowmasters, Kaitos, and so on and so forth. And then, we've got like blue, black, tempo. These decks will attack Doomsday primarily by using counter spells and thought seizes, as well as punishing our draws with cards like Orcish Bowmasters. They also always have Consign in the sideboard, which you need to look out for as well. There's also Temur Delver, which is another kind of tempo strategy, though it is not as prominent as the straight blue-black mid-range decks. So mid-range or tempo decks. We don't need to worry quite as much about Temur Delver, it seems, though of course there's always going to be Delver players prevalent. We have Eldrazi still near the top of the metagame alongside Red Stompy. So both of these decks are Ancient Tomb decks. They use cards like Chalice of the Void, quick and efficient threats, things like Disruptor Flute, Kozilek's Command, Broadside Bombardiers, Trinisphere, Blood Moon. All of these kinds of effects, basically they're trying to power them out with an Ancient Tomb or Chrome Mox type thing, get it down a bit quicker than you would if you're just making single mana producing land drops each turn. And these matchups can be good for Doomsday, but they can also be challenging depending on the threat suite. You might be against Red Stompy and they have a Blood Moon. They have a Magus of the Moon when you only have a Force of Negation in your hand and you just get locked out under a Blood Moon, for example. It's kind of tricky sometimes to fight against these decks because they have so many different ways of stopping you. And then we have Painter, which appears to be a mono blue deck these days, that there are still versions of Red Painter prevalent. The Grindstone is always an issue for Doomsday. Playing around that can be challenging if it comes down early. So we need to be kind of aware of that. Still, as always, Oops All Spells. This deck is very, very fast. Punishes you rather effectively for not having a Force of Will in your hand or whatever it may be. So that's still a kind of a challenging matchup, but Doomsday does have a lot of disruption in the form of discard spells, Force of Negations, Force of Wills, Dazes, Flusterstorms to kind of keep this deck at bay. But it is going to be probably a prevalent choice at this tournament. There's also Sneak and Show and Omnitel, which have skyrocketed higher in the metagame due to the new card stock up from Aether Drift. And so this is just a kind of quasi dig through time that lets them find the combo pieces that they're looking for and adds a bit of redundancy to their overall strategy. So those matchups I think we're pretty good against because we have so much discard and interaction, although we need to be careful, of course, out of the blue-green versions, the Omnitel versions for Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer can be very problematic when you're boarding in, for example, a bunch of discard spells in the form of Cabal Therapy and Duress. What else have we got here? There's Cephalid Breakfast, Stifle Not. We don't talk about Stifle Not. Cephalid Breakfast. There's other Nadu decks, Cradle Control, Lands, Death and Taxes. Just a smattering of other decks, but these ones across the top here are the main things that we need to be looking out for. There is, for example, a couple of pillars. There are tempo strategies, the form of Reanimator, Dimir Tempo, and Delver. There are Stompy strategies in the form of Eldrazi, Red Stompy, and I'd probably put Painter among those decks as well. And then there are combo strategies like Oops All Spells, Sneak and Show, and Doomsday. And then, Reanimator's a hybrid between combo and tempo. But as the Doomsday player, we're kind of worried about both of those axes, which is what makes it so challenging. So what are we to do as a Doomsday player in this format? That's a great question, and it's something that I've been really struggling to figure out ever since Eternal Weekend. Like, things just felt so clear and so plain to me at Eternal Weekend. I really liked the deck that Kai had put together and convinced me to play with the 4 Street Wraiths, the Vexing Baubles in the sideboard. It was kind of pre-built to beat the Ancient Tomb strategies. And then when you would Doomsday your like blue-black frog opponent in game 1, they wouldn't see any Vexing Baubles when they were like looking through your exile pile. And then all of a sudden there's just 4 Vexing Baubles in your deck post-sideboard, and now all of their forces are shut off, and the only thing that matters is Consigned to Memory, and you just Thoughtseize, Cabal Ritual, or Duress, or sorry, Cabal Therapy or Duress, the Consigned to Memory, and you're just kind of off to the races. But in lieu of Vexing Bauble, we now like need to figure out a better way to beat these blue decks and Consigned to Memory. And so there's now this Barogoyf pivot kind of happening in the sideboard. Recently, Brandon, a Midland, took this Doomsday deck to a very nice finish in I think it was like a tournament that had over 64 players. This deck I really like. I was playing Spoils of the Vault at Eternal Weekend. I think that card's excellent. A Midland has cut down on a Lotus Petal, I believe, to go to 2 in favor of a 17th land in the form of Undercity Sewers. There is no deep analysis in this deck list, and the sideboard does not have any graveyard hate, which I don't know how I feel about that. I wasn't running graveyard hate at Eternal Weekend. I just thought I would beat the graveyard decks and by ignoring their strategy or trying to go underneath them. I don't know if that's as popular, like if that's still a good idea. It might be. I mean, it might just be that, Flusterstorm, which is a card that I've been enjoying. There's Flusterstorm in the main deck, another one in the sideboard, in conjunction with Daze and Cabal Therapy, that you can just kind of pick apart the Reanimator deck and such that the graveyard hate doesn't matter. There's then the question, like, if you did want to play graveyard hate in your deck, what kind of graveyard hate would you want to play? Do you want to play 4 Leyline of the Voids? This recent Wonder Pro deck, for example, is running 2 Leyline of the Voids only in the sideboard. If you're only devoting 2 slots in your sideboard to graveyard hate, is Leyline of the Void the right choice, or might we try something else? I saw some deck list from Japan. I think it was from one of the Harayura events that was running Extirpate in the sideboard, which seems pretty cool to me. I really like Extirpate having split second. It kind of shuts off all of the Memory's Journey shenanigans that might come out of Oops All Spells, as well as Breakfast. So you can just Extirpate with split second, take their Oracle or their Dread Return or whatever it may be, the Narcomoebas, and then they just can't respond to it. They can't shuffle their Oracle back into the deck. With Memory's Journey, the split second just happens, and then they're kind of up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, which is where I would like to have my opponents be. This Wonder Pro list also has Wastelands in the sideboard, which is something that I was playing before when Wonder Pro was kind of experimenting with that Stifle Wasteland list, maybe about a year ago now. I never really understood how to make it work. Wonder Pro has a wonderful brain, and they are much better at piloting Doomsday than I am. So yeah, I'm not sure what the rationale is behind the Wastelands here, but this is like interesting to see. Wonder Pro is also playing another card that I just love, Vision Charm. Vision Charm being able to mill yourself in the face of an endurance or phase out a problematic artifact like Disruptor Flute is really nice, to be honest. And it's something that I would like to experiment with. And then there's a Stifle here to also beat Endurance. But I imagine that the Stifle's also good against the Spies out of Oops All spells. Stifle's a really cool card to have. And then whether or not you have Stifle or Consign is kind of interesting. I guess the Stifle hits both Spy and the other one, I forget what it's called, Undercity Informer, where you actually have the activated ability. Excuse me. Still have some phlegm here. And then there's the Manamorphose for the mono red prison strategies, turning your Blood Moon underground seas into 2 islands to put a oracle on the stack through a Blood Moon. Now, okay, Wonder Pro's deck also doesn't have Barrogoyf in the sideboard. Barrogoyf has been pretty good at beating some of the blue-black decks, particularly Delver, the decks with Lightning Bolt. But if the metagame analysis that we see here is correct, and we notice that like Temur Delver's literally just a little bit above Doomsday in the metagame share, like Bolt actually still isn't the kind of card that we're really worried about when you're looking across all the different decks. So do we actually need to be playing Barrogoyf? The other night, I had really good success with Barrogoyf beating Mono Red Prison. I just kind of dark ritualed out a couple of Barrogoyfs, and they just could never kill them, basically. I finished the game against Prison at like 36 life, and it just felt so good. So I do still think I like having Barrogoyfs, and I like having the option to just like pivot post board into like a kind of creature strategy. I was even chatting with, or noticed in Midland, I think in the Doomsday Discord, was mentioning just like you can swap your entire sideboard in, like all 15 cards, and you just take out like the Personal Tutors, the Edge of Autumns, basically everything but the Street Wraiths, and then you end up with this basically blue-black control deck with a whole bunch of interaction, and you even just have your Force of Negations to use as like cancels, basically, to stop Swords to Plowshares and other things from killing your Goyfs. So that's kind of a neat strategy. And then you have the Jace Wielder of Mysteries to kind of either mill your opponent out or mill yourself down with Barrogoyf and then ultimate it to win. So that is like nice flexibility. I don't know where I stand. I would love to actually try playing Stifle today. So we might try to get a Stifle in there, and I do love Vision Charm. But there's one other point as well that we need to discuss, I think. And that is, there's been a tendency, I think, in the past few weeks, and you've noticed in the past 3 Doomsday videos that I have where I was experimenting with subtle variations and takes on the list that Eureka was doing well with, was this move away from playing basic lands. Now, notably, a Midland is still playing the basic lands and still thinks that they're necessary. And I don't know how to weigh in on this. And I've tried to think like, well, why would you want to play basic lands? Why would you not want to play basic lands? Let's take the second question first. There's like a couple of advantages, I think, to saying goodbye to these basics. You would have a mana base, I think. If I wasn't playing basics, my mana base would be these 14 cards here. I would add another Undercity Sewers, and then I would add like one more fetch land. The first thing, right? Whereas if you play only Underground Seas and Undercity Sewers, is that you can actually like avoid playing Polluted Delta altogether. You can just play like a fetch land mana base that has like all the black fetches, for example, because the blue doesn't matter. So you can have like Bloodstained Mires, Marsh Flats, Flooded Strands, just like some weird fetch lands that might throw your opponent off. Sometimes people will just go turn 1 against Doomsday. They'll go turn 1 Pithy Needle, name Polluted Delta. We can avoid having that happen by playing only non-basic lands. We also would get 9 fetch lands in this mana base, which is higher than the normal Doomsday mana bases of playing only 8 fetch lands. Now, obviously, The other upside is that all of your lands always tap for blue and black, meaning all of your lands, except for the one of Cavern of Souls, can be returned to play days, can cast a cantrip on turn one or a personal tutor on turn one, can be used to cast a dark ritual on the second turn to put Doomsday on the stack. Uh, you know, they have a lot, there's a lot to be said about ensuring that every single land in your deck can always cast every single spell in your deck, except, of course, Edge of Autumn. I think that's very, very valuable. And if you have 9 fetch lands, you can kind of hide your lands behind the fetches until you need them and just play this slower game where you just play fetch land, go, play fetch land, go. Where does this fall apart? Like, I mean, these are, I think, all really, really good advantages. If we have a second Undercity Sewers, you can actually set up like weird lines with deep analysis as well, where you can, you know, maybe you just have like Undercity Sewers in your hand already. You go like Dark Ritual Doomsday, play Undercity Sewers, surveil the deep analysis, and then like flash it back right away or something like that. Obviously, not having basics can be bad for other reasons. Basics allow you to play around Wasteland quite nice. And in this Midland version, which we see in front of us here, we actually get another basic in the sideboard, meaning that we can board up to Island, Island, Swamp against Delver, and then have 3 basics that we can play the entire game off, where our Dark Ritual gets us our Doomsday off the single swamp, and then these 3 lands can also just start spewing Barrowglyphs. And so getting that mana stability in a longer game where, for example, you might even take out all of your Doomsdays and bring in all 15 cards. Now it becomes very important that I can like build my mana base because I'm playing this control deck. I want to play my Barrowglyph with 3 basics, pass the turn, and then untap and hold up Fawn with Island, Island, Swamp. So I think this is all like quite nice when you have the basics in the mix. But the downside of playing the basics, or I guess other upsides, are you have things to search for against like White Orchid Phantom out of Death and Taxes. You have things to search for if you get Ghost Quartered out of lands, and you also just have something to fall back on when you get paired against lands. And you might say that lands and Death and Taxes are generally pretty good matchups for Doomsday, and that you actually don't even need to hedge that much by having basic lands in your strategy. I think this is like a really interesting point of contention, and I personally don't know what the best course of action is or how to best build our mana base these days. I really like this Wonder Pro mana base: 16 lands, 9 fetches, 2 Undercity Sewers, 4 Underground Seas. What about Blood Moon? Well, we've got a Metamorphose in the sideboard, right? Turn my non-basics into mountains, and I will show you a Metamorphose. And this will turn my 2 mountains into 2 blue and draw me into a cycler, which gets me down to Oracle and Bob's our uncle, right? So how do we want to carve this chicken? How do I want to play Doomsday against my opponents at this 5K next weekend? I am really not 100% sure. I played Brandon's list, this list here, at my locals last Thursday. I went 4-0 with it. I played the exact 75. I went 4-0. I beat Mono Blue Painter in the first round, and that matchup at the time, it felt pretty good. In the second round, I played against Mono Red Stompy. That matchup was kind of crazy. I kind of threw away the first game. I kind of got used to having deep analysis in my deck after the past videos. And so I built this kind of sketchy, I had a basic island hand with Cycler LED, and I pondered and found Doomsday among the top 3 cards, and then just cycled into the Doomsday and cracked the LED to put Doomsday on the stack on turn 1, just kind of forgetting that there was no deep analysis in my deck anymore, and then I would have needed to pass the turn twice to win, and then my opponent just went Blood Moon into Broadside Bombardiers, and I was dead. But yeah, so I ended up winning games 2 and 3 on the strength of multiple Barrowglyphs. And then I was paired against Esper Control, which is kind of like a variation of the blue-black tempo deck. That one went to 3, but I managed to win just by using discard, and Flusterstorm felt absolutely incredible in that matchup. I don't even think I bothered boarding in the Baraglyphs. I just stayed on the Doomsday package, just got like hyper interactive, and it worked out really nicely. And then in the final round, I got paired against Oops All Spells, and we had like the kind of crazy Oops All Spells Doomsday matchup where each opponent like shreds each other's hand, brings each other down to nothing, and then it's just kind of like draw go. And I had cantrips, and Oops All Spells didn't have cantrips essentially, and I was able to stitch together the win. Actually, I won the last game by Spoils of the Vaulting for Flusterstorm, which I only had 2 of in my deck from 19 life. My opponent, I had like Fawn in hand, and no other blue cards. I think I had like a Dark Ritual or something left, and my opponent went they went Dark Ritual, and they had an extra land up. And so I fawned the Dark Ritual, and they put a Pact of Negation on the stack, countering the Force of Negation. And then I'm looking at this Spoils of the Vault in my hand, and I'm thinking, well, Force of Will is the only 4 of counter I have left in my deck, but I don't have a blue card to pitch in my hand, so I can't name Force of Will. And I was like, well, I've got, at the time I had 3 dazes. And I was like, okay, I could get dazed. There's 3 dazes, but only 2 flusters, but my opponent has an extra mana up. So the only card that I could name was Flusterstorm. And so I spoiled for Flusterstorm from 19 life, flip 15 cards. I think it was about 16 cards down, bring the Fluster into my hand. I let the Pact of Negation resolve on the Force of Negation, and then I Flusterstorm the Dark Ritual, and my opponent dies in their upkeep. It was quite an exciting game. And I love just like I name it, and I'm like flipping the cards, and my friends just like 1 life, 2 life, 3 life as you're flipping through the deck. And so that was just exhilarating. I definitely intend to be playing Spoils of the Vault. I think this card just throws a lot of people off guard and has a lot of applications post Doomsday. I think I'm gonna try one more time the basic land mana base of a Midland, though I have gone back down to 16 lands and back up to 3 petals. We're going to keep this other basic island in the sideboard. I've cut a Daze from the deck for a Deep Analysis. I want to keep trying out Deep Analysis. There are still these times where you run yourself down and then you want a Deep Analysis, but you just can't. And I noticed that Wonder Pro had cut Daze from their list to play Deep Analysis, and so I'm going to try that out today. As far as the sideboard is concerned, I kind of want to add a Stifle. And I'm wondering if we should try out Extirpate or not, or if that's just absolute boneheaded thinking. If we did go and play the non-basics, we would probably turn this into Manamorphose. We could cut a Force of Negation for a Stifle. I don't hate that, but then again, we've got the Spoils of the Vault to beat Endurance anyways, so maybe this is fine. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is good. I think we're going to run it like this for today. And then maybe I'll make some extra adjustments, but I want to see how this feels. And we got the Deep Analysis back in the deck. Got an extra pedal back in the deck, and we're going to pop into a Legacy League with this version. And so our questions today are going to be, do we think we actually need basic lands? That's the first question. And the second question is going to be, do we think we actually need Graveyard Hate? We are not playing Graveyard Hate. We are playing basic lands. So let's see what shakes out there. The other thing I should notice is, like, in the Eureka list, right? I don't believe Eureka was on all non-basics, but they didn't have Cabal rituals. They had 4 Lotus Petals. If you're playing 4 Lotus Petals in your Doomsday deck, I don't believe that you can play basics, because if you have and no Cabal rituals, right? If you get the island petal, you can't put Doomsday on the stack. And if you have basics, like having something like Cabal Ritual, like here, seems really good. In any case, I'll stop blabbering on about this. Sorry for the extended deck tech. We're here. We've kept our hand. Our opponents played an island into a ponder. We've got Doomsday, Cabal Ritual, Edge of Autumn, Lion's Eye Diamond, Days, Underground Sea, and Polluti D. So let's see what our opponent does with this ponder. They shuffled. That's good for us. Personal tutor. Do we even need the personal tutor here? I don't think I'm going to personal tutor. I'm just going to play Polluted Delta and pass. I might Undercity Sewers in my opponent's end step. I've got Days, but we really just want our opponent to tap out here. Of course, that's not what they're doing. Let's grab a Sewers. They could be on Stifle Knot, which would be rather unfortunate. Brainstorm in response to Undercity Sewers. Sure. Force of Will's a good one. With Force of Will, do we want to do something? With Force of Will, would we like to do something? So I can play Undercity Sewers. I can go Cabal Ritual, Doomsday. The problem is they're not going to pass, right? Like with tapping out. They've got a planes up. I think I'm going to go for it. We've got one line of defense here. Kind of this resolves. There's Force of Negation, pitch Baleful Strix. I think. Do I force pitch Days? Leaving personal tutor in my hand, and then next turn. I don't know if we're going to need the Days. You know what? I'm going to force pitch Days here. Let's see if they've got another piece of interaction. They don't. Is there any reason? Is there any reason to win right now? I don't think so. I think we just build a Cavern Oracle hand. They can Wasteland us once, which is fine. Like this. Like this. Is this just the pile? I think it is. Put Oracle on the bottom, Cavern on top, Edge, Wraith, and then we'll pass the turn. They pitch this Baleful Strix, so I don't think I'm worried about Stifle. That it would be funny. They're probably looking for Wasteland here, I would imagine. Tundra. Is this Stifle Knot with Baleful Strix? That would be crippling. If this is Stifle Knot, I mean, we really should that just sucks. If this is if this is Stifle Knot, I'm really sorry. I'm fine to lose, I guess, to a Doorkeeper Thrall here. I don't know if Stifle Knot is playing these kinds of cards like Baleful Strix these days. I really don't know what they've got going on, but let's cast a Thassa's Oracle, shall we? Yeah, okay. So this is in all likelihood Esper control. We saw the Baleful Strix, which means that we don't really want Barrowgoyf. I think we want Flusterstorm, Cabal Therapy, Duress, Jace, and maybe Shieldred. Then I don't think we want Deep Analysis against this opponent. I think I can probably cut both of the Cabal Rituals. Then from there, we can trim potentially on a Lodi's Petal. I don't mind cutting one personal tutor, and we could cut a Force of Will Or we could cut a cycler. Or we could just cut another personal tutor. Or we could cut a Thassa because we're bringing in Jace. Hmm. We kind of don't mind slowing down a little, but I don't know that I want to cut too many of our personal tutors. We could cut one Street Wraith, I guess, and keep in the edges for Bowmaster considerations. And I think this is how we'll run it. Okay, there's a Dark Ritual Doomsday, Ponder, Fluster, and Daze. Are we gonna get Thought Seized here? Probably. This time they're leading on Underground Sea, and here comes the Thought Seize. Yep, they'll take Doomsday, I assume. Hopefully they don't have Surgical. Otherwise, we're on the singleton copy of Shieldred plan. Underground Sea. Let's cast Ponder. Dark Ritual, Personal Tutor, Lion's Eye Diamond. I guess I could have cut LED. Dark Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, Personal Tutor. Personal Tutor gets us Doomsday, but I kind of want to any order shuffle this, to be honest. Those other cards aren't quite the ones I'm looking for. I really want a land drop in a Doomsday, not just a Doomsday. Maybe shuffling the Personal Tutor there is crazy. Here's a Brainstorm. I'm going to let that go. I don't think I want to daze the Brainstorm, but I guess if they Brainstorm into Wasteland, then I would have liked to have dazed the Brainstorm for sure. Maybe I should have thought about that for a second longer. Okay, no Wasteland. Floody Strand. Tameo? I'll daze a Tameo, I think. Ponder's fine. We'll let the Ponder go. We've got a lot of interaction here to protect the Doomsday. We're just looking for that Doomsday. That Thoughtseize was obviously really good. 5 cards in hand. We draw Lotus Petal. That's a good one. So now I want the Doomsday among the top 3. I like all of these cards. Let's play Polluted Delta. Another Thoughtseize. I think I'll just let this go. Maybe take Flusterstorm. That's probably what I would take. Maybe Dark Ritual. Fluster. Uh-huh. Surgical Extraction on Doomsday. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to suck. Wow. They've got Force back. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. Okay, so we've got one way to win this game, and that is Shieldred. We're on the Shieldred and the Shieldred single copy of Street Wraith. We've got a Jace. So this is going to be a Polluted Delta now. We no longer need the Personal Tutor. And if they want to play like this, I might actually have to board in like a couple of Barrowglyphs. This is super unfortunate. This just feels so bad. I mean, obviously it's a good strategy. It's certainly just fucked us, but it just feels so bad when that happens. All right. I could scoop and move on with our lives, but we do have a way to win this game. So we're also going to, I don't want to lose these lands, I think. I'll take the land. I'll play the land. I'll pass. First sign of like a Bowmaster or something, though. Baleful Strix. Let's just daze it. Personal Tutor. I guess I'll cast it. Fawn Pitch Consign. That's aggressive. Okay. I was just getting a Ponder opponent. All right. They've got a land now. Shieldred. Thassa's Oracle. It's a beater. Both of those can go to the bottom. We'll pass. Maybe I'm supposed to play with this pedal just for Thoughtseize purposes. They draw another land. They are at 11. Let's attack them for 1. Pass. Okay. Cavern of Souls. Let's hold that because we don't know if we want to name Praetor or Lurgoyf. And by Lurgoyf, I mean Wraith. Ponder's really good draw for them. Ponder's a really good one. They didn't shuffle. Shieldred. Spoils of the Vault. Bowmasters. Yeah, this is where the game kind of ends. What if I just cast Spoils named Shieldred? Let's kill the Bowmaster, obviously. What if I just cast Spoils named Shieldred? I don't think we're at that point yet. Yeah, I don't quite think we're at that point. That's like obviously risky biscuits. Flooded Strand goes. We can name Brainstorm off Spoils, which actually is a 4 of. Please shuffle. I shuffled. Murktide. Harbinger. I'm going to Spoils now. I'm going to name Shieldred. Let's go, boys. Let's go, everybody. Shieldred the Apocalypse. Ooh, okay. We got there. Mm-hmm. Let's cast Lotus Petal. Let's cast Dark Ritual. Let's cast Shieldred. Let's pass. They're attacking with Harbinger. Oh, I guess I have to block the Harbinger. And they have Bowmasters to finish me. Kaito. Okay. There's still 2 Brainstorms left in our deck. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We need a draw spell. Dark Ritual's not going to do it. Damn, the Kaito was pretty good. If we would have got that Shieldred with just a few more counters on it, like a few more life totals, we actually would have been in pretty good shape. Are we supposed to bring in some Barrowgoyfs? My opponent is playing the Thoughtseize Surgical game plan against us. Let's cut Lion's Eye Diamond. I think we'll bring Street Wraith back in. Like, Barrowgoyf's just so bad against Baleful Strix. Like, it's just so bad against Baleful Strix. I think I'm going to run it the same way. Let's see. This one, I think I'm going to ship. Maybe I keep it. We don't really have much in the way of selection. This hand can go very wrong. It's got mana. Let's send it back. This one's eight. Let's keep this. Ooh, let's put Jace on the bottom, or is it Street Wraith on the bottom? Might actually be Street Wraith. We'll lead on Thoughtseize. Force of Negation, Force of Will, Ponder, Brainstorm. I guess I'll take Force of Will to start. Maybe I take Force of Negation to start. Yeah, let's take Force of Negation. I think I just have to start picking through some of these counter spells. Draw for turn, it's Duress. I kind of want to Brainstorm. I really want to hit a land here if I can. It's not quite the land that we were looking for. So let's put... We're going to want Doomsday back on top. Question is... I can't Doomsday them right now. Is it Petal? Petal with Doomsday on top. Play Cavern. Name Wizard. Pass the turn. But then I can't Duress. Like, they're brainstorming an end step. Oh, this Cavern, if it was any other land, would have been great. We have to Duress our opponent, obviously, so I think maybe I should have put Petal on top of Doomsday. Here's Thoughtseize. What are they going to take? Dark Ritual? Duress. Okay. Do I go for it here? Let's do it. We know they have force, but I've got force, so... Okay, they just let it resolve. They just let it resolve. What does that mean? It means we have to be consign. We have to beat consign. Cabal Therapy, Duress. Like, is Brainstorm even... Can we afford to pass the turn like a bunch of times? Can we afford to pass the turn a bunch of times? I don't have Lion's Eye Diamond in my deck, which is rather unfortunate. Deep Analysis is gone. We do still have Spoils. They could have Harbinger of the Seas, which would be kind of crazy. Am I supposed to put Swamp in for Harbinger? But then it's like, how are we actually getting there, you know? How are we... I could go Duress you. I feel like they have Harbinger of the Seas. Can we pass twice, though? Maybe that's supposed to be cut for, like, a Street Wraith. Or even a Brainstorm. Let's make it like this. I'm not 100% sure how this works. But I think we want to go like... Not 100% sure about this. This was my feeling. Psycholorian revealed. Sure. This is a really slow pile, but they have no pressure. Here's the Harbinger. Oh, Teferi. Am I supposed to force the Teferi? Well, this force doesn't do anything, and we can't cast the Jace anyways. But this makes the brainstorm really bad. They're gonna force back, sure. They've got Teferi. Draw brainstorm. Do I have to fire the brainstorm now? No, I'll do it next turn, I think. Okay. It's just the Harbinger. Yeah. Yeah, we have the swamp for the Harbinger. Here, we'll draw Duress. Play Brainstorm. Let's put back Cabal Therapy. Thassa's Oracle on top. Play Swamp. Cast Duress. We've got Ponder at instant speed. Oh, was I just supposed to... I've got Brainstorm. Take the Brainstorm. Was I just supposed to put Oracle on the stack there? I chose not to use Ponder's ability. Damn. I think I might have screwed that up. Was I just supposed to put Oracle on the stack, right? Oh no, I couldn't have because I had the swamp, right? What's this? Another Ponder. Okay. They shuffled. I think I'm just going to jam the Oracle here. Play the island. They shuffled. Let's just play the Oracle. Did we get it? Surgical extraction on Brainstorm to see what our last card was. It was Cabal Therapy. Yep. Got him. Oh my gosh, that was so sick. I'm so glad I put the swamp in that pile. That was kind of, I just felt in my bones that they had a Harbinger of the Seas. I don't know if the pile was 100% accurate, but they had no pressure, right? So we had time to kind of fart around, and I'm glad I put that brainstorm in the pile. Just gave us the ability to choose how we wanted, like basically let us reorder our pile partway through, which turns out to be quite helpful. In any case, we are up 1-0 after a pretty tight and interesting match against Esper Control. We'll be back in a second here for game number 2. Oh man. Can you keep this? This is a lot of lands. We're on the play. I'm going to go Personal Tutor, put Doomsday on top, and then next turn we can Thoughtseize Doomsday, right? I think we can actually just get the basic island here too, which is kind of nice. Doomsday on top of deck. Go ahead. I mean, maybe like we're just die to oops here. Maybe I was supposed to Thoughtseize my opponent on turn 1. Oh. Hello, friend. Oh. I guess I was supposed to Thoughtseize my opponent on turn 1. Necro Dominance. Yeah, you're supposed to Thoughtseize your opponent on turn 1. Yeah. Let's hope they somehow fizzle. Pay 19 life. Legacy. This format's so stupid sometimes. Knowledge is such a burden. Release it. Release all your fears to me. Yes. Soul Spike. You may exile 2 black cards from your hand. Deal 4 damage, gain 4. Sure. What the hell is going on? I haven't seen this before. Soul Spike me. Are they passing? They soul spiked into pass. What is going on? What's happening? I don't understand. I don't understand. I've never seen this before. I haven't played Legacy in 3 weeks. Is this new? This looks like modern, but I haven't played a game of modern in my life. That's not entirely true. I played one modern league when Stoneforge Mystic was unbanned. And then I was like, this format's stupid. I was like, you have to pass with mana up if you want to counter something. Like you can't play Force of Will or Daze. This isn't fun. I'm a bit of a goofball though. Jesus, heavenly Christ. Okay, what does our opponent have? We really, I mean, what is going on here? They have 5 cards in their hand. They have 5 life. Do we die if we cast Doomsday? Oh, I can't even Thoughtseize plus Doomsday. What am I doing? Do we die if we cast Doomsday? They can draw 4 more cards. Why did I? Oh man, I was not thinking about that. This is foolish. How did we go from playing so well against Esper Control to just me being a complete doofus? Maybe I'm just supposed to Thoughtseize. I I really don't know. I'm gonna Thoughtseize now. I don't know what's happening. I should Doomsday, but I'm so stupid. Why did I get Basic Island? Because of Wasteland. It makes sense, right? Does it? Are basics good? Certainly freaking wish that we didn't have basics now, so I didn't make that mistake. Like, did they just get super unlucky on their Necrodome, or what's happening here? I'm hoping that this Thoughtseize Cabal Ritual Thoughtseize. What is Ancient Cellar Spawn? Each spell you cast that's a demon, horror, or nightmare costs 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a spell. Oh. Well, the Cellar Spawn seems like something we don't want to battle against. And now the issue is. And now the issue is that we. Like. What is the issue? Our Doomsday is going to get thought seized. I don't know what's happening. Oh, they're soul spiking. What did they pitch? What did they pitch? Thoughtseize Cabal Ritual. Spike me. Oh, that's going to let them. Right. Now they can draw more cards. What is existence? We really need to hit like Brainstorm off the top here. I do not know what's happening. Now they have 8 cards in hand. Are there other cards like Soul Spike? They're passing. Please, for the love of God, let me draw a Brainstorm. Please let me draw a Brainstorm or a Cycler. Oh no. Am I supposed to just cast Doomsday? Or am I supposed to pass one more turn? The problem is, discarded some cards. They've got like 5 cards. If I cast Doomsday, I go to 4, which means I die to a Soul Spike. I'm just going to pass. I don't know what's happening. And then I guess if I'm passing, I should have played this so we at least get an Undercity Sewer. I'm sorry. This deck has just confused me. I feel like every single turn I've just made a terrible choice. They go into end step. Dark Ritual, sure. Dark Ritual, sure. Shieldred. Oh, fuck me. I can't beat that card. Yeah. Oh, we would have lost to the Shieldred anyways. Oh, heavens. What is this nonsense? I assume we want Force of Negations. They actually have like a good non-necro dominance hand, though. I don't want to play against this. This is so silly. Am I supposed to board anything else in against this opponent? Blusterstorm doesn't seem bad. I don't think we need Cavern of Souls. We are on the play, so it's possible these duresses are pretty good. These mismatching duresses, yikes. I think we want to be as fast as possible. So we don't want to really cut anything that stops our speed necessarily. But if that's the case, then like what are we really supposed to cut? Maybe Pedal Edge Cycler, the duresses stay at home. I don't know. I've never played against this deck before. They have a lot of things that kind of seem shitty to us, but I also made 100 million errors. Is this hand worth keeping? What does this hand do? Turn 1 Thought Seed seems pretty good. Play Lotus Petal, pass with Flusterstorm up. Then we've got like Brainstorm. I think I'll keep this. Hopefully the Thoughtseize can collapse their hands. Our hand was really bad last game. I like fucked up so bad with the lands that I fetched for. Let's lead on Thoughtseize. The fuck is March of Wretched Sorrow? Take Necro Dominance. I play Lotus Petal and I pass. So they got like really unlucky in the last game with their Necro. Swamp Go. You like to see that. Force of Will. You don't mind seeing that. Do I jam this Brainstorm? I think I do. Put Thassa back. With like Personal Tutor on top. I guess, yep. They play Swamp Pass. We draw Personal Tutor. We cast Personal Tutor. We put Doomsday on top. We pass. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now they can't cast March of Wretched Sorrow. But they can cast Soul Spike. You may exile 2 black cards from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Deals 4 damage to me. 4 damage to any target. So it is a removal spell. Doomsday will put me to 9. And then Spoils for Oracle puts me to 5. Okay. I think we've got this one. We'll go Dark Ritual. The fact that they tapped out there means that we can win. That was really good. Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Thassa's Oracle on the bottom. And then they're going to see all the cards, so 1, 2, 1, 2. I guess we could use like Consider to save some life, just to be extra safe. Does that work? Yes. I think it does. We go Oracle on the bottom, Underground Sea on top. We put Consider, C, cast Lion's Eye Diamond, hold Control, play Spoils of the Vault. Crack this for triple blue. Okay. Name. Consider. Spoils into consider. Cast consider. Soul spike me. This into my graveyard. Cast Thassa's Oracle. All right. Okay. Got there that time. That's good. Very good. Very, very good. Soul Spike makes the Doomsday pile's a little complicated, doesn't it? I think we just run the same 75 back. Yeah. And hopefully we draw a nice hand. This one's pretty sweet, I think. Dark Ritual resolves. Necro Dominance. We go Force Pitch. Let's view sideboard. The other Oracle is in the deck, so we'll go Force Pitch Oracle here. That's our line of defense. Gone now. Thoughtseize? Force of Negation. Pretty excellent draw. Let's see if they've got anything else. Another Dark Ritual. Let's let it go. Oof. Okay. Yeah. And deep analysis into the graveyard. Draw Force of Will. Shit. Consider deep analysis into the graveyard. We might just flashback this deep analysis. Next turn. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it, which less than its mana value, target opponent loses life equal to the difference. So that means that a Soul Spike actually deals like fucking a lot of damage, right? 11 damage. Dark Ritual, Brainstorm. 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 I think I still just want a deep analysis. Oh, deck. Deck. We're going to need to get to putting this Doomsday on the stack relatively quickly. Okay. Let's go Ponder. Use Ponder's ability. No. Cast Undercity Sewers. Personal Tutor into the graveyard. Pass the turn. We can't beat a Soul Spike here, which is the issue. Am I supposed to Brainstorm in the end step here? Oh, they're going for the spike now. Oh, that's so good for us. Oh, this is a triggered ability. So what, I'm just taking 7 here? Okay. Now I think we're safe to win. Oh, whoops. What am I doing? Losing marbles here. Black, Doomsday. So we need Lotus Petal for the Brainstorm. Oh no. Are you kidding me? Because I boarded out. Are you kidding me? Lion's Eye Diamond, Lotus Petal, Ponder. Does this work? Oh my god. Okay. Edge of Autumn into Lotus Petal. Play Lotus Petal. Cast Brainstorm. Draw Lion's Eye Diamond, Lotus Petal, Ponder. Put 2 cards back. Yeah, I think this works. I think this still works. Okay. Wow, the sideboarding almost fucked us there. Let's put Thassa's right. This still works. Thassa's Oracle on the bottom. Lion's Eye Diamond. Lotus Petal. Ponder. Lotus Petal. I think this works. Cycle into that. I guess if they have a removal spell as their last card, they've got me. Blue like this. Put back. Spoils and force. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. Play Lotus Petal. Hold control. This for blue. Like that. Crack LED for triple blue. Boom, boom, boom. Use Ponder's ability. No. Cast Thassa's Oracle. And we got there. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sorry, my brain just malfunctioned there at the last second. I was like, wait a minute. We boarded out all the cards we need to actually let us win. Turns out if you just pause, take a deep breath, and reflect, then you can put the win on the stack. Funny thing is, if our opponent just waited one more turn, I think we just couldn't win. So they had the Soul Spike in hand, which we couldn't have forced to take this line. This card's really cool. I've never seen this card before in my life, but that's really nice with Soul Spike. Awesome. All right, we're 2-0. I'm going to go into the next round here in a second. It feels actually pretty nice to be back playing Doomsday, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, there's still lots more Cube videos coming down the pipe as well. So check those out. I think Cube's a really fun format. If you haven't done a Cube draft before, I highly recommend it. I very rarely have more fun playing Magic than I do when I'm cubing, and I love that like every draft is a new experience. I love that you can you don't always have to pick the best card. You can take something that you like or you want to experiment with. Like I had the Luris video come out, and Luris was something that I've always wanted to try to draft, like a Luris companion deck, and that one came together. We didn't do as well, but it was certainly fun to put it together. Here's LOL for reals. I hope we don't say that when they just like turn one us with Necro Dominance again. Well, that last match was kind of stressful. I was pretty stressed out. We're on the draw here. Let's see what we get dealt up. Street Wraith, Dark Ritual, Ponder Days, single land, no force of will to stop something our opponent has, but I mean, if we can find Doomsday, oh shit, here's Ancient Tomb, and we're just, I mean, oh man. I guess we need to find a force of will now. If we find a force of will, that'd be excellent. No luck on the force of will front. I think in all likelihood we are dead. That was such a good Chalice hand. Seed of the Synod. Okay. So this is mono blue painter or something? What is this? Undercity Sewers tapped. Dark Ritual into the graveyard. Draw for turn. It's a swamp. We'll play Undercity. Or sorry, Verdant Cats. We can hard cast a Daze here. Hull Breacher. I kind of feel like, I mean, we can't do anything anyways, but if they're going to like wheel us, this just cannot resolve. So let's Daze. That Chalice of the Void was so crippling. Holy moly. Thought Monitor. Sure. Yeah. I'm putting Doomsday on the stack next turn. Whether you like to see it or not. It's not getting any better than this. It resolves. We're going to 7. We can take a hit. Can we pass twice? Cavern Oracle. Edge. So we're going to 7. We take a hit. Going to 7. Take a hit to 5. Take a hit to 3. Street Wraith cycles us to 1. Oh, we don't need Street Wraith because we have... We don't need Street Wraith because we have Fetch in hand. Right. So let's go Underground Sea, Thassa's Oracle. Let's go Underground Sea, Cavern of Souls, Thassa's Oracle, Edge of Autumn. Let's pass the turn. What could they have in their hand? Like, they can't cast Grindstone. I don't know if this is the mono blue painter, if this is just like 8 cast. Who knows? That Chalice was so crippling. That Chalice was so crippling. Urza Saga, Lotus Petal. Oh, they could Kappa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they could Kappa attack. Karn the Great Creator. Is this... Maybe they don't have Force. Oh, Torpor Orb. Good night. Yep. Can't beat that. Okay. We tried. We certainly tried. Oh, man, I bloody hate Karn the Great Creator. What a dirtbag. What an absolute fucking dirtbag of a Magic card. Is this guy going to have Consigns? They're playing blue. They are playing blue. I guess we want Chase. As a way to beat the Torpor Orb. They're definitely playing... Shieldred's obviously also really good against this opponent. I feel like Daze isn't that good. It's possible we might want one of those. Thoughtseize like can be good, but it's not that good with Chalice. And then the same can kind of be said about some of these other 1-drops and maybe spoils. Oh, but they've got Hull Breachers, so we actually do want access to spoils here. I don't know if this is proper sideboarding. This is kind of what I'm thinking, though. Yeah, let's give this a shot. I think we'll keep this one. Oh, that Chalice was so crippling. There's so much more we could have done that game, right? If they didn't have a Chalice. It's like Legacy. You don't know what you're playing against. You keep a hand that doesn't have Force, and you just get completely got by the Chalice. All right, let's start off with a ponder here. We would love to find us a dark ritual. Another street wraith. Yeah? Just passing. Okay. What does that mean for us? Does that mean we actually want to pass? I think it does. I think it means we actually want to pass. Ancient Tomb. Okay, so now they've got Hull Breacher. I'm just going to keep passing. Maybe that's crazy. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, let's cycle both of them. Okay. Put that one into the graveyard. I think. Let's see what they've got to say about a Shieldred. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to put the Doomsday, but it's like they just so clearly have Hull Breacher that if I put Doomsday on the stack and then I cycle, they go Hull Breacher, and that's that. Emery, yeah, yeah. No Echo though. Attack for 3. We need something spicy here. Personal Tutor's not really the spice that we're looking for. Let's cast Doomsday. Doomsday's going to put us to 5. We'll take 4 going to 1. We'll take 4 going to 1. Oh, man. 4 going to 1 means that Spoils isn't even good enough. Right? How does this work? We could Spoils like 1 card into hand. We could have Shieldred be the top card. Spoils like Thassa's Oracle. So we draw Shieldred. We play Shieldred. And then they attack with both and we die. I don't think there's any way that we can win this game. What would you do here? What would you do here? I think it has to involve Shieldred. But I think even the Shieldred is a little too slow. Oh, Jace doesn't make any sense in the pile, but because we can't actually cast it, but this is what we'll do. Jace on the very bottom, followed by Oracle. Oracle spoils Shieldred. Pass. If they just attack with Emery, put me to 1, the Shieldred does nothing. Kind of wish I had a Barrowgoyf. But yeah, we're falling here, folks. We are falling. Hull Breacher's an annoying card when your life total's getting pressured. Karn the Great Creator. Well, let's just say no to that, I guess. Are they going to echo me now? I hope they fucking echo me. All they have to do is attack with both their creatures. But if they get cheeky and they want to bobble and draw a card, okay, there's Chalice. Chalice on 1 stops Spoils of the Vault. That much is true. They did get a little cheeky, though. And now we have a Shieldred. Now we have a Shieldred. You've got a Psy Master Thopterus. Yeah, that Chalice was really good. A Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, I'll gain 2. I'll pass the turn. Not attacking because I die if I attack. My opponent attacks with everything. I go to 1, and then I draw Oracle, and I can put Oracle on the stack. There's a Petal. So opponent has to go for Urza's Bauble here and hope to draw a counterspell, I guess. I don't see an Echo anywhere in sight. What's this? What's happening? Are they drawing a card? Shieldred will peg him. We've done everything we can. Oh, wow. Fucking weed. They found a Chalice of the Void? And now they're going to Chalice on 2? Exceptional. Exceptional. Mm-hmm. We'll go to 5. And there's Jace, but I can't cast the Jace, obviously. So I shouldn't have put the Jace in the pile, but we were so close here. We were actually so close here. That's insane. Yeah, the Psy Master Thopterist. Here comes an attack for lethal. Oh, so close. GG's. Emery. Will you accidentally draw a card, opponent? All right. All right. Oh, man. So, yeah, that Psy was really what did it. We were like so close to just beating them with the Shieldred, though, which was hilarious. Good game, opponent. Well played. We got wrecked. All right, we got 2 matches left. Still plenty of opportunities to go 2-3, but we'll see what we can do. I'll be back in a second. All righty. It's possible I was supposed to put the Doomsday on the stack sooner in that game. It's also possible that there was some other cards I could have put into the pile, like Land Jace, which would have given us even another route to victory, but... Because, yeah, I suppose if we had Jace, and then we could, like, spoils ourselves to nothing in our opponent's end step, and then we could draw a card, and that would also, like, with no cards in deck, just naturally from our draw step. I don't know, that deck's pretty challenging to play against, I think. Okay. Well, we do have Force of Will. We've got Thoughtseize. We've got Brainstorm. We've got a few more lands than I would like. One more land than I would like to see. And we've got Dark Ritual for Doomsday. I think I'll keep this one. Let's see what our opponent's got for us. Mox Diamond. Is this where I lose to lands? I always feel like I just randomly lose to lands even though I'm not supposed to. This is where we just randomly lose to lands. I let the diamond resolve here. They got to discard something. They're really thinking about what to discard here. Boseiju. That one can be annoying post-Doomsday. Mazevith. Okay. Man. My opponent lagging or what's going on here? Sometimes you queue in and you're like, you don't have a lot of time left to play, and then like lag happens and you're just sitting here for an hour. Man, Maze of Ith is an interesting land to play on turn 1. Yeah, it's leg. Okay. So they clicked the wrong land and then played that. Oh man. All right, we're in for the long haul here. I think we go basic swamp. Lion's Eye Diamond. Not bad. I will grab the basic swamp. Thought sees my opponent. My friend just sent me a picture of a Doomsday, or sorry, a Storm cube draft and was like, how do I build this? And I have to send a picture of me playing Magic Online saying that I am in the Doomsday stratosphere. Okay, this is insane. I kind of just want to scoop. I just can't. I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't help my opponent there. That's really unfortunate that that happened. I've had stuff like that happen to me. It always feels bad. It sucks. It really does. I mean, we've seen me on video, like, I'm like lagging out, trying to discard down to hand size and just discard like the wrong cards and then almost lose the game as a result of it. So these things happen to the best of us if you're watching, Grobs, and I send you my sincerest apologies. Okay, is this green white depths? Till end of turn, it gains hexproof, and whenever this creature becomes tapped, it deals damage to target creature. Okay. Let's take Green Sun Zenith. And let's pass the turn. So Yavimaya, Elvish Reclaimer. I don't think I'm going to force the Reclaimer. Daze. Polluted Delta. I think I'll pass again. I kind of want to try to brainstorm next turn when I have a fetch available. Okay. Because they now have a route to Merit Lage, so we have to do something here. Let's put Cabal Ritual into our graveyard because we don't need that one. Draw and find Ponder. And now I think I ponder over Brainstorm, question mark. Don't really find what we're looking for there. Oh, yikes. I mean, yeah, if we just can't find... we're just going to be dead. They're getting Thespian Stage here. Wasteland. Okay. I'll actually take a Wasteland over a Thespian Stage here. It does suck for our brainstorm purposes. Yeah. Echoing Deeps on Wasteland. Or, oh, just untapped. Okay. Well, I guess we go to our turn now. Oh, Basic Island. That was a pretty baller draw, I think. Man. You can put Flusterstorm back and maybe the LED at this point. We'll fetch. Grab Underground Sea, cast Ponder. We just can't find Doomsday for the life of us. I guess we'll hit our opponent with a Thoughtseize. I'll take the Scythe Cat Cub. But yeah, we cannot find Doomsday for the friggin' life of us. It's just going to be one of those super uneventful games where we've cast a bunch of Ponders and Surveil lands and... Sure. Are basic lands good? Yes. Maybe I was supposed to force this Elvish Reclaimer, but yeah. Ponder? Oh man, I want Personal Tutor and Edge of Autumn. But not gonna get that lucky. Let's put Doomsday on top of our deck. Are we gonna be able to pass the turn though is the question. So now they're gonna get the Thespian stage, I assume. Another Wasteland, okay. Yup. Passing again. Do they have Ghost Quarter in their deck? Do they have Ghost Quarter in their deck? So I'm going to go to 7 here. They can attack me down to 4. We definitely need Thassa's Oracle. I would love to have this Force of Will up. Or we could draw Spoils. And we could Spoils to Thassa. Well, we know they have removal in their hand, which is what's kind of annoying about this. So I think we have to put Underground Sea into hand, or into this as well. And then, is there anything else we might want? Like, I guess we could do like an edge and an edge. So we'll go. Oh. I go to 6, not 7. Thassa on the bottom. Underground Sea on top. If he attacks me to 3. Jesus Christ. So I'm going to 3. So yeah, we just got to hope that they don't play Edge of Autumn, I guess. And by Edge of Autumn I mean Ghost Quarter. Here comes Ghost Quarter, right? If they have Ghost Quarter, we're probably dead. They didn't activate. They have double endurance. I guess we don't beat double endurance because of the way that we stacked our Doomsday pile. They're going to combat. They're going to attack us to 3. Mm-hmm. Another Reclaimer's fine. Draw for turn. Tap for black. Tap for blue. Cycle edge. Cycle edge. Cast spoils. Name Thassa's Oracle. Jam Lotus Petal. Cast Thassa's Oracle. Okay. We got there. Had to think a little bit. We almost just spun out into nothing, but we didn't quite. Okay, so green white depths. Ball therapy, I don't mind. Basic island, I don't mind. I think swapping for cavern. And then maybe I want something like Jace, though it's unclear. I don't know that I want Fluster. What would they have that I might want to Fluster? Crop rotation's a good Fluster target. I could see cutting a Daze on the draw. And I don't think we want Barrow Goyfs against this opponent when I think about it. So we could cut a Cabal Ritual, but that card seems decent. I guess I'll cut the Fluster. I don't know if Jace is really the guy that we're looking for, but could be. Could be. I think I'll keep this like so. We'll see how it goes. This time we've got the Doomsday, but we're missing the Ritual. I think we keep this. Thoughtseize yet again. Opponent is a hardcore Wasteland deck. They're on a mull to 6 here. There's a Windy Swept Heath into Elvish Reclaimer. I kind of just want to force this Elvish Reclaimer this time. I kind of want to just get that card out of there. Given the texture of our hand, I want to Thoughtseize my opponent now. Doorkeeper Thrall and Endurance. Well, Doorkeeper Thrall's certainly a magic card that we cannot fucking beat ever. Oh no, never mind. Never mind. We have Bloody Jace Wielder of Mysteries. That is why we bring in Jace Wielder of Mysteries, unbeknownst to me. I'm just moving cardboard around. Okay, I actually, if I was the opponent, I think Boseiju actually has some purchase against Doomsday. Wow. Did they draw a green card? Oh, we kind of screwed this up because I didn't fetch beforehand. So now we need like Underground Sea, Jace, Lion's Eye, Street Wraith. What does this look like? Probably works. Or maybe one of these Underground Seas can actually be a Thassa's Oracle for good measure. Let's go like that. So let's go like Underground Sea on the bottom. And then like Thoracle, Jace, LED, Wraith. Pass the turn. This will like, I guess, guarantee them they're going to be able to just hardcast Endurance now, though, like guaranteed. And if they Wasteland us here, we're fucked. Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this, actually. I don't like that pile one bit. Pass the turn. We'll draw Street Wraith. I think now I fetch, right? I think I fetch right now. Then I can play the Flooded Strand, I think, so that it doesn't get discarded to the LED. Put back Oracle, Jace, cast Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay. I actually don't know if I mill myself, so I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And the fact that they're... I actually don't know that I mill myself here. So here comes the Endurance now. Yup. You've got an Endurance. It's going to shuffle me back. I'll draw this. I'll play Jace. And I think I target you, draw a card. And then I pass. Maybe there was a better way to build that pile, but we now have Oracle in hand. So we'll have a Devotion to 5 Oracle, and then next turn we can like mill ourselves. We'll see if he wants to Endurance just attack us, or endurance attack Jace. I assume he's going to endurance attack us. And if we have to go to a game 3, we have to go to a game 3. Though I'd prefer not to. Wasteland gets us here. Wasteland gets us. I think they have to attack us, right? Yep. If they have Doorkeeper Thrall, we're screwed. But we've done our best to mitigate against that. So I was supposed to Thoughtseize and take the Endurance. Now we draw Brainstorm. Okay. Well, let's mill ourselves. And let's cast Thassa. Cut. Alrighty. We got there. We got there. That's how I guess you do it, kind of, though. I think we just Thoughtseize take Endurance, and then we just kill them last turn. And we don't fart around with this, like, possibility of losing to Wasteland, etc., etc. Yeah. In any case, we are 3-1 with one match to go, and we will play that match very shortly. Alrighty, just waiting on our last opponent here. Totally satisfied with the 3-2. A 4-1 would be awesome. Liking this list. Don't know if deep analysis is even necessary anymore, though it is. Like the other night at my locals, there was one game where I could have won if I had the deep analysis, and I didn't, and I lost. Then I played another practice game against my friend who was on the mono blue painter deck. And it was another case where in that like third kind of practice game that we played, if I had deep analysis, I could have put the win on the stack right there. I also had it come up actually the other night against Esper Control. I didn't mention this in the deck tech where like a Midland was playing 3 Underground Seas instead of the full 4. And I actually had it come up where that mattered against Esper Control. I got triple wastelanded off of all of my Underground Seas. Because I just drew them before I drew fetches. And my opponent had triple wasteland hand. Like, this is a super corner case, obviously. But then my opponent had like a Tameo that was about to ult. And I drew Flooded Strand for turn with Dark Ritual Doomsday in hand. And because I didn't have the 4th C, I couldn't put the Dark Ritual on the stack to at least attempt to win. He showed me Force Blue card after, so I would have lost even if I had the land. But I had my hand was Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Edge of Autumn, Cycler. Edge of Autumn, Lion's Eye Diamond. And I could have just gone like for the bing bang boom all the way down to the Oracle, not playing around any protection as the last resort before the Tameo ult goes off and assuredly buries me. But I wasn't even given the luxury of doing so. So I've got the 4 Underground Seas in the deck now as well. Tubo. What does this signify? Is that a Loxodon? It is a Loxodon Historian. And this hand is not the kind of hand I think we can keep. So let's mulligan that one. Our basic's good. Well, this one seems all right. I think we'll keep this hand. And we'll put one of the Brainstorms on the bottom. We're kind of looking for a lot of things, but at least we're not going to lose to Wasteland here. Love this tree. It's a nice island. Mirage, I think. Flooded Strand, okay. Dark Ritual, sure. I think I'm going to Thoughtseize my opponent just so we can ponder with information next turn. Let's see what they're up to. I might just cast Brainstorm in response. This could be Sneak and Show. Oh, blue-black. Is this another classic Scott loses to blue-black in the last round? This happens frequently. No days for the Brainstorm, so we'll let them do this. I mean, the most ideal world next turn is Island, Ponder into Doomsday, Dark Ritual Doomsday, Force your Force. They'll hide their best card on top, I guess. That's all predicated on us finding the Doomsday in the top 4 cards. I'm not a hyper geometric mathematical genius, so I don't know what the likelihood is of finding Doomsday in the top 4 with 53 cards left in your deck. This is a deep Brainstorm for our opponent. So what are they going to show us? What are we playing against? Oh, yuck, right? Yuck, yuck, yuck. Well, I'm going to take Thoughtseize, I think. We'll pass the turn back. I want this deck to die. I don't know why. I just find it so annoying to play against. It's just always the same thing. Okay, so they might have Force on top. Took their Thoughtseize. Let's see if we can find the Doomsday that we're looking for. All right, let's go Islands. Let's go Ponder. They could have Bowmasters here too, I guess. There's the Doomsday that we were looking for. What happens if I just put it on the stack right now? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Probably. Like, they could have Force, but we know that we're winning the fight. I mean, this was the ideal world that I was trying to set up. I think we're supposed to, like, go as fast as possible. If we pass, they have, like, Entomb Reanimate as a possibility. If this just resolves, that's going to be great. So it means that we've got our Force of Will. So we're going to need an Underground Sea. We're going to need a Thassa's Oracle. And then Edge. Edge. I mean, we could even just take Spoils here. If they Bowmaster us right now, if they just go like fetch Bowmaster, we go to 8. They attack us to 6. Force of Will puts us to 4 or 5. Fetch puts us to 4. I think I might just take Spoils here. Then with the Spoils, could probably cut Edge and actually put Cavern in the pile. Underground Sea on the bottom. Thassa's Oracle on top. Followed by Cavern of Souls, Edge of Autumn, Spoils. They're going for end of turn, end tomb. Yes. They're getting Atraxa. Right. Troll cycling. I hope it's Animate, Dad. It's just Reanimate. I think we have to force this now, right? Oh, heavens. Okay, that resolves. They play a land. If they just play Murktide here, we know the coast is clear. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Please don't reveal Force of Will in your top 10 cards. Oh man, you've got to be kidding me. That's just so tilting. Oh, that's so tilting. What did they take? They took Force of Will, Underground Sea, Animate Dead, and Bowmasters. Let's cast Spoils. 4 Spoils, pitch Murktide. And yeah. All right. I think we can cut Deep Analysis. It's just a little too slow. Probably cut Cabal Rituals. And oh, but I kind of want to be racing my opponent. So it's like, what? Oof. Maybe a couple of cyclers. Yeah, this is really This matchup, like I just can't, they just always seem to always have everything. Always seem to always have everything. All right, we'll take the play here. Do some box breathing, take a deep breath. This hand's not good enough to fight against our opponent. This hand certainly has legs. I think we can keep it. I think I have to put back the personal tutor. I wish personal tutor could get dark ritual. That would be so nice. I think we're just going to lead on Undercity Sewers. There's a Street Wraith. That's not too bad. I'm actually going to keep that on top. That card's pretty good against our opponent. I shouldn't have cut the Street Wraiths from my deck either, because it just makes cycling to the bottom. Like, I probably miss sideboarded. Okay, so we've got Street Wraith on top, which is going to help us at least break into our pile. They've got Ponder. We're going to Ponder. We draw that. Let's start with a Ponder here. Just a bunch of land, huh? I kind of don't hate just taking a C. Use Ponder's ability. No. And we can like fetch to shuffle. If we get wastelanded, we can just take a draw. Did I cut deep analysis? I think I did. Yep. They've got Undercity Sewers now. Sure. Binning and Tomb. I wish I had 2 sewers now. Yeah, maybe playing 2 sewers is right. I don't have 2 on Magic Online, but I wonder how much they are. They're probably a bunch of tickets. Okay, so we've shuffled and we just drew a land anyways. The question then is whether or not we can just put Doomsday on the stack here. I think I will with the Force of Will backup. They've got 7 cards in hand, obviously. Wow, it just resolves. That's fucking terrifying. Let's take Underground Sea. Let's take Jace. Let's take Oracle. Cabal Therapy. Duress, maybe? Or does that not how that works? Like this. Like this, like this, like this, like this. Pass the turn. What do they have in their hand if they just let this, if they just let all this resolve? A single wasteland fucks me pretty hard. Okay, Troll of Cause of Doom. That makes sense. If they go for a reanimate on the troll, that I'm just fine with. If they play Thoughtseize, am I worried? I could cycle into my own. I think I'll just let this go. I'm not 100% sure about that. They take Street Wraith. They might take Force. They took Consider, and now they're passing. Let's play Duress. Oh, wow. I think we got him. Take consign to memory. And then we cycle Street Wraith. They will Bowman. Like so. We'll draw the Oracle. The Bowmasters will ping us. Play Flooded Strand. We'll fetch the Flooded Strand. Play Underground Sea. And we'll cast Athos's Oracle. All right. All right, all right, all right. We got there that time. Okay, so I want Cyclers against Reanimator. Cyclers, I think, are really good. We want those back in there. But where do we find our other cuts then? We've hid Cabal. Okay. We need to cut 2 cards from our deck. I'm going to cut 1 personal tutor. I also don't know that we have Jace, which is really nice. Cut a personal tutor, and I could cut a Ponder. Those are already gone. I could cut a Lotus Petal. I don't mind that, maybe. Okay. KKK. Cyclers, like, really allow you to dig into your discard. This hand, unkeepable. No lands. We'll mulligan. This hand is not the kind of hand you want against your Reanimator opponent, I don't think. Force of Will, pitch, consider. I think we have to keep this though, right? Like, and is it just bottom Street Wraith? Probably is. Undercity Sewers, okay, that's not a bad start. Our opponent kept a card on top. We really need to like find some gas here though. Lotus Petal in a way is a start. Let's do this. If they have Wasteland, we just get completely boned, but I kind of feel like I have to Thoughtseize my opponent. My opponent when they can't like brainstorm to resort their hands around. Jesus. Okay. Well, I guess we take Orcish Bowmasters. Jesus Christ. How the fuck are we just have all these cantrips in our hand and they have Orcish Bowmasters and I have to like force a Bowmaster? Okay. 2 Bowmasters down. Go to our turn. Draw Brainstorm. I think we start with Brainstorm. Oh man, I think I have to shuffle this just because we know the other Bowmasters is coming. We just need to get rid of our cantrips. Any order shuffle. Misty Rainforest, great draw. Duress is not going to help us in this spot. So the second Bowmaster is coming down. I think I had to play it the way that I did because there's just like we had so many cantrips in our hand. Brainstorm to the bin. Draw Thoughtseize. I guess we'll Thoughtseize our opponent. I'll take the Brainstorm. Leave him with Consign. We need like a dark ritual pronto. Oh, the Thoughtseize off the top is so crippling. Yeah, this one's over, unfortunately. Our hand did not. Well. Duress you. Take your consign. You've got a borrower in your hand. I've got a Doomsday back in mine. But I'm at 5. You've got your land for the borrower, and now I'm dead. Now I'm assuredly dead. I can't cast Doomsday, so I need like Dark Ritual. Yeah, that will do it. GG's. All right. So we could not clench the 4-1 like usual. Back on the 3-2 curse. I don't know. I mean, that time they didn't even. It seemed to me in that matchup that not having Graveyard Hate didn't matter. Because they just pivoted off into the Bowmaster plan, which is probably better anyways. So I like what we had. Maybe I was supposed to mull to 5 in that last game to try to find a better hand that could just put Doomsday on the stack and didn't have cantrips. But then it's like we kept the cantrip hand and they had triple Bowmasters. We were able to fight through 2 of them, but the third one was the death knell. But in any case, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I think the list is overall pretty solid. The 2 questions that we began with: do we want basic lands, and what about Graveyard Hate? I think right now I do want basic lands. They seem to work out well for us in this league. We didn't have any issues come up because of them. Having another Undercity Sewers is pretty nice. So a Midland is playing 1 less pedal and is on 1 less sea and 1 more fetch and an Undercity. Not 100% sure what I'll do about the mana base. I hope to be able to at least jam 1 more league yet before the 5K, and then I'll probably do maybe a little recap video of the 5K to let you know how I do. Hopefully I don't scrub out, but you never know. Yeah, I mean, we never boarded in the Barrogoyfs. Would we rather have something instead of them? We didn't really play against any deck that occasioned us to. The Shieldred was excellent. Like, I'm actually wondering if 2 Shieldreds, 3 Barrogoyfs isn't a bad idea. You kind of like these creatures in different matchups, but yeah. In any case, this was another league, another 3-2. I think things went relatively well. I think that blue-black reanimator matchup, I can't seem to ever be able to beat it. I don't know why. I think I've only beaten it like once out of the past like 5 times I've played against it. So yeah, I need to figure out what to do about that again. But I felt like it was close this time. Especially like the first game, we were like very close to winning, but our opponent just had double reanimation, and then the Atraxa went into the Force of Will. Not sure really how we were supposed to fight around that. It's possible we were actually just supposed to not force the Atraxa, just let the Atraxa resolve. They get a force, and then we can force their force. Yeah, maybe I just forced prematurely. I was just supposed to let the Atraxa resolve and say you only get 1 instant, and my instant beats your instant. I think that's actually correct. I actually think in that game 1, let's see. Let's just quickly, I want to look at this for learning purposes. Unable to start replay. Okay, never mind. There are no learning purposes. There are no learning purposes. But I do actually think maybe I was a premature force. I should not have forced the reanimate. I should have thought a bit about that. Because I forced reanimate, then they have the second thing to bring it back, then I'm up Schitt's Creek. But I guess at the time I didn't know that they didn't have a force in hand already. I don't know. I really don't know. In any case, another middling league with Turbo Doomsday. I hope to be back with some more Doomsday action soon. And in the meantime, I hope you continue enjoying the Cube content. Sweet. Have a good day, everybody. Semi signing out. Cheers.